Hello everybody, how you doing? It's Paddy and Jud, and it's our Monday Night Live, and it's just going to be an open forum tonight where with some of the topics we've thought of is on RJ's Knives on Sunday we were talking about what attracts you to a knife, and I'm going to change that question around a little bit. Hello, how you doing? Can't remember that fella's name. Spiros. Hello Spiros, it's nice to see you here. Yes, I'm going to turn that question around a little bit. What would turn you off a knife? What is the one thing when you look at a knife and think, nope, not for me, move on? And we all do that as we're flicking through the internet. We all have knives that just don't do it for us. So is there any you've got? Is there any you've got just that would immediately turn you off it?
Well, funny enough, I'll tell you one thing that of late has started to turn me off. Titanium. Weirdly.
Right.
Weirdly.
I can get that because I go in and out of it.
And it's not, hold on a second, it's not titanium as in
yes,
a Jack Wolf knife. Okay, where you've got a lovely, hold on a second, I'll just go, we're experimenting with a new camera. So we're going to switch it over here so you can see this.
Yeah. I mean, this is nice because it has titanium liners right the way through. It's integral, so the bolsters, the end cap and the liners is all one bit of titanium. Yeah. But then they pretty it up by putting this white fat carbon on it, which really highlights it a lot.
It does, but the titanium bolsters and the end cap, I love it. I think that's because they're a nice feature of it. It's knives like, have you got the wee Elementum there?
Yeah.
It's the total titanium package that I've had a couple of all titanium knives, and they just don't do it for me. They're just not warm enough.
I can remember about 6 months ago saying I don't like titanium knives and I wasn't going to get them anymore. And since I have said that, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 titanium knives, and I think there's more somewhere about it. All my Jack Wolfs are titanium, so I mean, you know, but these have colour in them. These have
a little bit of life to them. Yeah. A little bit of life.
The other thing, just to go with that, this is my Chris Reeve knives, and it's all titanium apart from these overlays on it, and that changes it.
But doesn't that change the character of it completely?
Absolutely.
No,
absolutely.
I'm going to bring up the elephant in the room already. Paddy, or Stephen, right from the word go, okay? Because it's another titanium knife, and you've only just got it. But it's another one that lends the lie to what I'm talking about, which is the Herman.
The Herman?
Yeah.
Oh, the new Herman, yes. Oh, I've got it. And it has its own wee home. It doesn't muck with the poor ones.
Doesn't associate with
No. No, you have to be over a 3-figure sum before Hermie will meet with you.
And again, but look, I mean, that's titanium with
milling.
Class.
Yeah.
It's got the milling, which gives it a wee bit of texture. It's got the
Timascus.
The Timascus, which is just that gives it a heart and the art and the warmth to it. I think.
And also that Doma steel.
Oh,
and I've got to do the full review. That Doma steel is powdered metal. That's not like your standard where they're just
folded in
metal
together,
molded in together. That's powder steel, and it's 61 Rockwell hardness. So it's it's up there with a really well heat treated S35 EN.
Yeah.
So absolutely, and that's unusual for that sort of thing. That's in my head. I didn't realise that they would do it in that. Yeah. I had no idea.
No. But I suppose why not? Because Dama steel is just two different metals folded together. So you could do it with powdered steel as easy as you could do it with any. I suppose it's just a case of cost.
And exactly, I wouldn't normally look at a knife at this price.
No.
I look at them to see how pretty they are, and I love doing that. I mean, I love it when I come on a channel and they've got a brand new shiny knife, and just to sit and look at the workmanship and how it looks, and you hear the little noises. You see, there you go. That just gets me.
Bring it up to this one.
I'll bring it up to
this one.
Oh, it's the most beautiful thing. It's like one of those things to do with the piano that hit it on the side of the table. Yeah. It just really gets. I've got goosebumps in my neck. That's how much I get excited.
We have a thing at Christmas that I call the ting ting. and it's an angel. It's a table decoration, Stephen. It's not anything else.
Ting ting, bring your food.
The ting ting. But it's one of those little angel things that spins around. It's like angel chimes, they're called, I think, normally, and it's a couple of candles that go around. But it just goes ding, 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 and it's just very like that. But it eventually drives you mad.
So does that. And your thumb, but you just keep going and going. I just adore it. That's the opposite. That attracts me to that knife. But I do get with a titanium, because I really said I wasn't going to get any more. And I do go through periods of this all the time where I think, no, that's enough of that. I'm not. And it's usually when I say it, when it's actually got to the stage where I'm going to say it out, physically, then I start buying the bloody things the next week.
But isn't that always the way?
Yeah.
And I mean, I've just said I don't like titanium, and we've just put 4 knives on the table. Well, the Elementum, it didn't really grab me, but the other 3 are all beautiful examples of titanium at its best.
And I think the other titanium one that I would sort of bring to bear is this one.
They are.
This is the real exception. We're just changing over to camo. There we go. This is a real exception. This is titanium, but it's shiny titanium, but then it has this milling pattern. Look at that milling pattern. It is just delicious. And this lovely big
pivot.
the
bird's
the
eye
pivot. So I think I don't like plain titanium like that's on the Elementum as such. But to be honest with you, the minute I do, the feel of that little knife, it's so rounded. There's not a hard surface on it.
No, you're right.
That's the one thing that lifts it above.
Yeah.
And there's things you don't like, plain titanium. But then, is that just the collectorness? Am I just being the collector? Oh, I've got this now. It must be nice.
No, it could be. But at the same time, you do want to justify your own purchases to a certain extent.
Of course. I mean, I wouldn't buy a knife if I didn't like the look of it. Mm-hmm. I'm very much an aesthetics. So I can get put off by aesthetic as much.
That is lovely. The Elementum is my favourite knife. Yeah. I mean, it's one of my favourites. It's just the titanium didn't really do it for me. I've got the micarta one, and I've had the wooden one. The wooden one's probably the favourite. But the micarta is lovely as well.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it.
It's just a lovely knife.
And I do like it. And whether I've made myself like it, I don't know, because it's one of those ones that I wouldn't have looked for. But until you put it in my hand that first time you got it, and I felt it in my hand, I went, oh.
Hello.
Okay. Not in that gay sort of a way.
No, it's more of a Leslie Phillips. Hello.
And he was really straight. But once you put it in my hand, then I change my opinion. And I would do that an awful lot with knives that I haven't actually physically got in my hand, until I just, especially with Jack Wolves now, it's proven to me, you can look at a shape and think, that's not going to be comfortable. No, I'll move on. And you're missing so many knives by just swiping left. Yeah. And I suppose an awful lot of people, not just here in the States, don't live close to a shop. Don't live close to somewhere that sells knives. All right, they can maybe buy cheap ones on Walmart, but they haven't got big stores, box stores that are going to go in and you can test every knife that's on the market. Can you imagine trying to test every knife on the market at the minute?
I am imagining it. I'm actually salivating at the very thought of it. Give me a chance.
But it's the sort of thing, shall we say hello to a few people there? There's
we
a few.
Will.
Sorry.
Here we go. We've got Spears in, Crispy Critters in, Randy Fitz.
Spiros. I got it.
Well done. We've got Jason Glover, Don C. Pepper Dingo's doing the rounds this weekend. He definitely is. Rob Tigler's in. Randy's there. Well, how good to see you, Randy. Or not see you, but
Randy is the man on the spot. He's like the reporter from BBC. He just turns up everywhere.
Always there. Always
and
there.
It's lovely to see. North Star Knife Reviews.
Good grief, it's at the 4th of July.
Tomorrow, isn't it?
Is it?
What day? Monday's the 3rd. No,
3rd, yes. 4th of July tomorrow. Yes. Tomorrow, yes, for tomorrow.
Happy 4th of July, in case we forget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we've got North Star Knife Reviews in as well. Fellas, thanks very much for joining us. Hopefully we can keep your attention for the next 45 minutes or so. As we go in there.
And what we're talking is, like on RJ's on Sunday, if you didn't hear, we were talking about what attracts you to a knife. And I wanted to turn that on its head. What puts you off a knife? Now, whether it's right or wrong, and for me, most of the time, The thing that will put me off, if I got the knife in my hand,
Yeah.
I can change my opinion at the drop of a hat. And that thing that I've seen beforehand that puts me off, blends away. It's just gone.
Yeah.
the knife just fits me and no more. And then you put it in your hand, but just is enough. You just have to be able to get 4 fingers on it, and that's it. You don't need 4.5. Room for 4.5 if 4 are on it.
That's true.
And so a lot of the things, that'd be too small. Would pass. You know what I mean? And it's maddening because if you were looking through a book in a car,
Yeah.
what would put you off buying a car? The first thing for me would be a glarish colour, a sort of a real in-your-face colour.
Sort
That
of
would
acid green or something.
that would just
like
put me.
that.
I don't get into the sparkly, shiny stuff in cars. I just like a blue or red. That's my
Your
colours.
standard.
Yeah, just really standard.
And you like to go freaky on your knives, though.
And yeah, I am getting more and more freaky on my knives. Definitely more and more freaky, and going for more odd blade shapes like the Spanish Navajas I got there. I just love that shape, and I hate a toothpick, but yet that's so similar to a toothpick.
It's so fine.
The blade, the fatness of the blade makes a difference. And, it's funny. I had this out today, and I was playing about with it, as you do on a normal day in my house. Where did I put it? I've actually moved on. I mean, that's
You want to put it on camera?
I'll just show it here. Oh, there we go. This is the Navaja that I got recently. This is one of two. This is the bigger one of the two. And I mean, it's basically shaped like a toothpick, which I don't like. But then when you bring it out and you see that blade, that just turns it into a completely different beast. I mean, I love this shape. And having the wee curl at the back really gives you...
It does. It sits in your hand. It sits in your hand like a...
And I think I paid £20 for that.
I know, it's ridiculous.
And it's in carbon steel. It takes a wicked edge. It'll not last forever, but it'll last me all day.
It reminds me of an open L, actually, in terms
it's
of thinness.
Incredible, yeah. But much better looking than an open
And
L.
better made, actually.
Isn't it well made? It really is.
Really nice snap on it.
Yeah, that's how you blunted the top of my blade. You're not supposed to snap with him.
No, he tells me.
No, I don't think
he
he did.
tells me.
He had just looked for a wee shiny bit. Do you know how to... I don't know whether anybody knows. If you want to check for blade wrap, the best way to check is get a bit of light on it. Look down on the blade itself. You look down on the blade itself, and if you see any shiny bits coming back up at you, that's where you'll see exactly where it is. I'll do that. No, I won't.
No, you'll miss the table and hit my leg.
But yeah, that's the best way, just to check if you got blade wrap.
You asked the question, and then... So I've mentioned titanium. What is it that turns you off a knife?
What is it that turns me off a knife? Do you know when you look at a knife and then you line a knife up with a company? So if I see a Kubi at £200, I'm gone.
Gotcha. Because you're used to them at the budget.
Yeah, I'm used to them as a more medium to budget, and they make fantastic medium to budget. I have no experience on that high end. And, again, I'm lucky. I'm at that stage where I can get higher end knives now that I couldn't when I started. I have more flexible money that I can just, if I want to buy something. But when I see a company that I'm used to in that medium or budget price, going for a knife at £250, I go, no.
Gives you pause.
Yeah, because I wouldn't order it until I could get it in my hand. I'm not saying they're going to make a bad knife, and I'm not picking on QB at all. Lots of the other Chinese brands especially, because the one thing that really, when you're buying an American knife or a British knife or a European sort of a knife, there's a comeback that you can get in contact with that company. I hear all too often that some of the Chinese, and not all of them, please don't think I'm picking on all, to get something fixed can be a blooming nightmare, especially if you live here. So it would sort of affect us more than it would Americans. Because if I've got something, I've normally had to buy it from America to get something like, yes, Heine will do a few, Moonraker will do a few, but they don't do that many. So that's a warning sign for me. No, let's leave it alone, move on. So
it's fine if you're if you've only spent like 30, 40, 50 quid.
Doesn't matter.
You can take it on the chin. If it's 200, 250 quid, you're expecting a certain degree.
And I've got to post it all the way back to America, and I have to do it insured. So you're now up to that 40, 50 pound just to send a knife back again, which I'll never see.
So it's that kind of disconnect between price and brand,
Yeah.
then will put you off.
I wouldn't try that knife simply because of where it's from.
Yeah.
Because I'd have to send it back too far.
Yeah.
And that does put me off.
It's not worth taking a punt kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
No, and the
That's
other
fair
thing,
enough.
the other thing is, here's a real strange one that will put me off. If somebody opens a knife, especially with these modern knives, where they flick them open, the sound can put me off.
That's very true.
The little, it can either turn me on, or it can put me off.
That's yes, and I mean we've talked about the torque particularly in Jack Wolf. We've talked about the ting on the Herman, and there are other knives that have that lock up sound.
What did you do the first thing I handed you the Elementum? Bang! You'll see that.
Yeah, and
it's that sound.
It's that solid.
Yeah.
Lock up, and yeah, there are certain knives that just do it for you.
The ones that clunk, dull.
Yes.
I'm gone. I couldn't open that knife all day long.
And it is the most bizarre thing.
It's crazy.
Really is.
And I'm really looking forward to see if anybody else is. What puts you off a knife?
Well, we've got a couple. Don C's put in a couple, so Don C can't have an ugly clip.
Oh, 100%.
And when you say ugly clip, we have to do the contrast of an ugly clip with the perfect clip. Do you have an Ashley there? The Ashley Abalone?
Yes, definitely.
The Ashley Abalone is quite possibly the most gorgeous clip.
No, he's talking about the actual clip for holding on. That's why I was isn't that what he means? The clip as in the clip it in your pocket? Maybe I'm wrong, but I just...
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because I was just going to say, Spyderco are well known for making knives that look pretty odd compared to the rest of the knife community, but they're very, very comfortable in hand. The only thing they haven't got together is getting good pocket clips. And
you see, I like the wire pocket clips.
You love it. I just got this new knife off you. This is my Sage 1 in Maximate. I got that right, didn't I?
Sage 5.
Sage 5. No, it's a Sage 1.
Sage 5 is the...
No, definitely I'm 100% I'm going to bite you now.
The liner lock is the Sage 1?
The liner lock was the Sage 1. It was the first one they done, the liner lock.
Well, there you go.
The Sage 5 was one of the new...
Is it the compression lock?
It might even be the compression lock. But
okay.
The Sage 1 now. But, I mean, I love this knife.
In the comments, boys, one of us is wrong. Please prove one of us wrong.
Yeah, just go ahead. Oh, don't hurt him.
Hey, I'm quite willing to be wrong. But I've been proven before.
This knife is absolutely beautiful. It's in Maximate. So what are you going to do with a Maximate knife? What's it going to be used for?
Well, hard use.
Longevity. You're going to have it in your hand for a long time. That pocket clip would wear the back of my hand out.
Really?
And I tried it with a couple of boxes. And I thought, that's a couple of boxes, and I feel that already starting to irritate me.
Did you take it off then?
Yes! Now, he didn't know that. I literally just took it off today. It's sitting over there in a wee box. And you see now...
That is the weirdest thing, because... Sorry, finish.
Go ahead.
That's the weirdest thing, because Spyderco knives, I love my Spydercos, and the one thing that I will say is that the wire clip, I find of all of them, the most unobtrusive clip of all of my lockers.
Isn't it?
The wire clip. It just sits, it just disappears in the palm of my hand.
There's very few pocket clips I actually like in my hands. And I don't have, well, I probably do have soft hands now, but, it wouldn't put me off being a wee bit uncomfortable doing a bit of work. But the other Spyderco, and it's funny enough, I got this off you too.
Dragonfly?
Dragonfly, no pocket clip.
No, that I can understand, because that's such a tiny wee knife. And it's a pocket dropper.
And this is where the thing is. This is a larger knife.
Yeah.
So
for you, substantial weight on that.
For you're coming down off the hump.
Mm-hmm.
The actual hard hump bit, you're probably on this side of it. The good side of it. I'm actually right on top of it. So the corner of the hump sticks right into there, even though it's the fat in my hand.
See, it's my girlish little girlish hand.
But that's the
advantage of it.
If the knife had been sort of coming the top way, I'd be all right, because I wouldn't be on that. When they raise that, it's just a thin bit of metal up and bend it. When they put that sort of, there's too much gap on them to start with for me. If they shrunk them down a bit, it would be better. But there's two Spydercos, and funnily enough, not one of them's got a pocket clip on.
Pocket clip.
So
that was interesting, actually.
Did Dawn? What did?
Let's see. So Dawn said yes. Dante's other one was the sharpening choil.
Oh, yeah.
And
Spider go.
now, Don is making is saying particularly if a knife is hard to sharpen because of the lack of a choil,
Yeah.
or actually due to the choil or the lack of yeah.
Because when you're sharpening right up to the edge of your ricasso there, your blade's coming up, and it's like maxing it. That takes quite a long time to do that. And the chances of you just damaging that end, not that it's going to make any difference to the knife, but you're actually going to be rubbing it up against the metal to get as close as you can. All it will do is aesthetically it will just ruin the look of the knife.
Because you get that smile going on.
Well, it's not even the smile, it's the back of the ricasso. Because you're coming at an angle, you're going to hit the ricasso every time you go up. And it might just be a wee glancing blow, but all of a sudden you have a nice wee silver spot sitting down there. So there's lots of, that's another great one, pocket clips. Why can't companies, here, let me tell you, this is definitely, it's just funny, I just got this now. I know this is a custom knife, but the pocket clip costs the same price for any knife. Look at that.
That is a thing of beauty, really.
Look at that. It's unobtrusive. They've milled it so that it looks the same as the handle. But when you put your hand on it, tell me if you can feel a hot spot at all. That is just, to me, I know it's long and you could shorten it or whatever, but it's just the way it made it. It's oval in shape. It doesn't have the scoop up. The scoop is done underneath. The scoop back so that it goes into your pockets, and you just don't feel it.
It just sits there.
It just sits there. So, I mean, it can be done, and it's not as if it's expensive. It's just a pocket clip, a bit of titanium. Oh, just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous. Put it away. Put it away.
But yeah, so pocket clips, there's no reason why we should have these uncomfortable, ungodly. I mean, sometimes like a platypus that's gone into the shock, and it sticks up back,
A platypus.
Well,
in shock?
yeah, they've got a big fat
that
tail on
one's
them.
going to be on Thrifty's show. Thrifty and Matt's show, that one.
But I mean, it's just what it looks like, a platypus tail that's turned up and sticking into you when you put your hand over it.
Very true. So Dante, absolutely. And we've got, who else? What turned me off was buying a tea. I'm not sure what that means. From Bo Rex.
What did he say?
What turned me off was buying a
titanium.
A tea, was it? Jason was saying about, oh yes. What turned me off was a titanium handle bug. Oh, here we go. Look at that. I couldn't. That I get. Yes. Oh, Bo. Yes. I have to agree 100%. Centering on a knife is, I have to say, for me, is probably the one thing that would tempt me to return a knife every single time. I have to say, because it just upsets me. It's more than it upsets me. It offends me that they don't
they don't check it.
It's supposed to be centered.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be right.
But here's my other thing. If you have a traditional knife and it's a wee bit off center, it wouldn't bother you that much as long as it's not touching.
No, it does.
It does.
It does.
Yeah,
I know it doesn't, and I know it's not a big thing for you, but it bugs the hell out of me.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough.
And it's like, I mean, we always talk about the fit and finish of knives and how much it is important, and I think I have to be honest. I mean, because I know that you love collecting the older knives and the vintage knives. That's probably what puts me off collecting older knives.
They're off centre, so many of them.
It's the wear and tear on them, and I mean that's the character of the knife. I get that, but I can't make the jump from my
your favourite knives. That always, very rarely do you see a sack that's off centre.
Yeah, that it's
very
unless
rarely.
I've put it together.
No, yours are perfect.
Well, you should see the early ones that are sitting in my shed, like Frankenstein. They're rejected and absurd.
But that's fair enough. That's how you learn, isn't it? But yeah, there's so many little things, and you can actually look at a knife. And there's Jason Glover in too.
Yeah,
Jason, you're very welcome. Jason has been very good to me in my time here on YouTube.
And he was saying the same thing that you were, but I mean, he's saying that about Benchmade, that you would expect them.
Yeah,
but I think it's the reverse of what you were saying. It's not so much that you're used to it being a budget knife and it's then it becomes expensive. Benchmade are an expensive exclusive knife.
Yeah.
But then you get something like the Bug Out, which is should be a relatively cheap knife, but they're way overpriced for what they are.
£170 now for a Bug Out over here, And then, and this will put me off. If I'm going to buy a knife at £170 and I have to spend another £100 to get that knife to look the way I want it, I'll go and buy a knife at £270.
Exactly.
That's going to be a higher grade of probably blade steel, whatever. I don't believe, because that's feeding the. I don't know. I'm trying not to. And I'm not being rude to people who do that. I mean, there's lots of people get new scales and new backspacers and all that. I just don't get into that.
Oh no, but that's
I know
thing. This is all personal. This is all personal.
Yeah.
And I mean, people have their own particular obsessions.
Oh yes, and I'm not trying to put them down. Just for me.
Yeah.
If I have to buy a knife, well, I would. If I have to get a knife that I'm going to have to put titanium scales on to make it good for me, I just couldn't do that.
No.
I don't know why. I just couldn't do it.
Absolutely.
But I'll buy one that's been adapted if I'm getting it for the right price.
Yeah, totally.
So there's yes, it looks good. It looks better, but I'll buy one that's been done.
Yeah, I suppose that's where the benchmade comes into his own. I mean, if you've got a quality chassis and a quality design going there, and you do get somebody who's put it together nicely, then it can sort of overcome those worries or whatever else. But yeah, it is that overpricing thing.
The other thing I meant to say is I don't like off-centering in my modern knives.
Well, yeah.
Because I believe they're being made to such tight tolerances, they should be able to put them together every time, one after another, and that's it.
J'accuse!
Oui.
The Bayard. You forgave it.
True.
You forgive the
But,
Bayard.
you see, that's funny. I don't think of that. I think of that as a slip joint.
Oh, there
and
you
I
go.
don't think... No,
that's not a modern knife.
No, it is a modern knife. Yeah. But in my head, it's a slip joint.
Yeah.
And because of everything else, it's not that much off.
And more to the point, there's nothing to this bloody knife anyway.
It's just, and a slight bit off looks more on this. But I mean, if this had been a Benchmade at this price range at £200, I'd probably get sent back. If I couldn't fix it, I don't even want to take this apart and mess with it. So it does for me, and that's it's actually the more I've got it, it's actually coming more.
Yeah, it is.
It's actually coming more into life
from the last time I saw it.
And I think maybe there's just a wee bit of grit or something because I didn't take it apart. So I would just keep oiling it and using it is the best thing. So
right, what have we got here? Don't see. Didn't mean pocket.
You're having a Paddy.
I know I'm having a Paddy, definitely. Jason loves the Spyderco wire clips. I mean, we can have a whole discussion about who's better or not. Randy doesn't like carbon fibre and burlap micarta.
Oh.
Now that's throwing a fairly wide net there. Now, is it specifically, Randy, the burlap micarta? Because I have to say, I'm a big fan of micarta. I love my micarta. There's just a warmth in the hand of micarta that I find.
And I think burlap is particularly nice. But, I don't have one.
You do. Isn't the Rough Rider Reserve Barlow?
No, it's not burlap. No, it's just
a linen.
It's exactly same done as a jean. It's that same material. No, I don't actually have a burlap, and it's something I would like to get. But I do like it. Carbon fibre. Yeah, I can sort of take or leave it. If it's good carbon fibre, it's done well with a lot of chatoyance or whatever in it. There's movement in it. Mm-hmm. I like that, but I'm not just that plain slab carbon fibre. I don't like.
I suppose it falls foul of the beige syndrome.
Yeah, it's got beige. When it first came out, it was all whoa, look at this. But it's really amazing now how fast a certain phase can come in and go out, and they sort of. You hardly see them at all then forever. They just tend to go. And I think we're coming close to that with micarta.
Yeah. No. Well, yes.
I think they're going to have to come out with a new type of micarta.
Well, what's it? Rich Light is the...
Rich Light is another one. I haven't used that. I have no idea what it's like.
You got to get me some.
To me, it just sounds like plastic. It doesn't sound...
Is it more of is it the epoxy kind of focus on Rich Light?
I think so. I don't know. I just haven't seen one.
To get some.
Yeah, I haven't seen a knife yet with it on it.
Jason, I'm just throwing that up there, and for all of you wondering out there, as I have control over the chat, I am putting that up for the longest time possible. Definitely agree, Judd. And then for a split second, I'm going to put that up and then move back to that.
Stage one is a liner lock, yeah.
But nobody saw it. And everybody agrees with me. So, all right, I was wrong. All right. Trying to teach the old man new tricks.
I'm trying to learn humility, but he makes it very easy. I get lots of practice.
Oh yeah, it's very true. Actually, humility is something I've got used to over many years. This is very true.
No, me, I meant.
Oh, you?
Yeah, I'm very humble.
Humble? You're very something. I'm not sure why.
There's Jersey Knife Guy. How you doing?
Where's Jersey?
It's funny. Jersey got a new GEC that was that had Blade Rock on it, and he rang the bloke off who he bought it from. It was I think it was a company, and said, you know, I don't want it. And this bloke said, well, you're always going to get a wee bit of rock on a locking knife. Sod off. If you're talking to somebody who doesn't know, yes.
Yeah.
People have said, well, I'm going to put your name on my channel and I'm going to explain that you said you're allowed to have it. It's normal. That's exactly what I would have given the answer back. Who do you think I am? It's like, you know, it's like when Sally would go into a car dealership, they nearly walk past her to get to me. And I hate that. It's, you know, it's somebody saying something just stupid or, oh, maddening.
I know, but it's like Curry's or PC World.
Yeah.
It's people who know a little bit.
They're the most dangerous.
That are the most dangerous. And well, in certain areas, but when you've been through enough and you know enough about one, the knives themselves, and two, what you like in a knife, and three, what you consider is important in a knife, then you shouldn't have to put up with that kind of crap.
Because somebody who's buying a GEC is not a little boy in the street. No. It's not. It's somebody who's prepared to pay, a fair amount of money for a really good knife.
Yeah,
and that's the whole point. You shouldn't have somebody to. It nearly is belittling you. I would feel that personally. I would get stroppy.
And it is definitely patronising.
Oh, absolutely, yes, absolutely, at the very least.
Okay, here we go. What else have we got?
I still got bug outs. Yeah, I wish I'd have kept mine from then. Yeah. I've got a clone now because I'm not buying any more. I think I bought about 3 of them in my time, and I'm not buying any more.
And there we go. Jason's agreeing with you. No excuse for a modern life to be off-centre.
It shouldn't be.
I think you should send the Bayard to him for just because I mean it's not good enough.
Yeah.
And there's Randy again, just about the mic-card. It just depends. Carbon fibre mostly just doesn't do it. And I know what you mean about carbon fibre. Some carbon fibre really is really nice, I have to say. When you get the colour right and the movement right in the carbon fibre. And I mean, Jack Wolf knife sometimes hits it, sometimes doesn't for me in terms of certain patterns. But in general, they get the quality top notch. But it's the texture of carbon fibre.
Exactly, that black carbon fibre, more smooth carbon fibre. There is no. I'll tell you who does a lovely carbon fibre, and I've felt it in hand, is Spyderco. But it's a laminate. They have the carbon fibre on top of a bit of G10.
Oh really?
And it's just like a laminate, but you see the texture on it.
It's lovely.
Fantastic. If they could just do a full slab of carbon fibre instead of sticking it on a bit of G10, just give us what you're paying for. I mean, they're not giving their knives away, let's be honest. They give you a full bit of carbon fibre. Ganser were doing that 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
And they're carbon fibre, so.
No, it's the truth. And I mean, Jason's just voicing something that I think I would share that opinion. I was disappointed that Jack Wolf. I understand the marketing reasons because we are slaves to the trends of the market, it has to be said. So, I mean, the guy's got to make money, but at the same time, I've got 2 micarta Jack Wolfs and 2 carbon fibres. The feel good and which is beautiful. I mean, both my carbon fibres I love. I have to say, but the micartas are something else. No, it is a thing of beauty. But the micartas are absolutely stunning.
And can I just say something, Jason? I was for one this time. The last 2 haven't been really my cup of tea, but the last one out, the Gunslinger, has been the fastest selling knife to sell out everywhere.
Wow.
It was the one that Jack Wolf knife
in general?
No, Jack Wolf.
Wow.
The Gunslinger has been the fastest to sell out everywhere.
Wow.
I just think, that just goes to show you what I know and what we know. I mean, Ben had stopped doing the micarta and then just sold them all in that, and he made more of them than he's on any other knife, and it sold out the fastest. So,
do you think that's because of the carbon fibre or because it's the first lock? Yeah, I think so too.
Lock.
I think the market is just much bigger.
But again, it's quite clever if you think of it, because I don't think of these things. These are sort of afterthoughts of mine. He has been clever. He's got where the market wants it. The higher end knife buyers in that type of, or people that he wants to come into it, because there's not a lot of traditional people are changing over as such. Yes, some of them are. I mean, I'm a converter, but the people who are buying them are people who are into modern knives who like multiple opening ways, of opening a knife, and they like a lock. They just don't see. But it really is a great segue. I mean, I think it's very strange because what I'm going to say next is I think Jack Wolf's knives are the gateway drug to get you into traditional knives, which are, a third of the price. And they're actually bringing you down, if you know what I mean.
It's bizarre.
And it's when you think of it, because the people now who have got the Jack Wolf knives are now buying GECs in case because they like that. Yeah. Just take it out. It's slow your life down time. There's no rush. Just take it out.
And what had happened to it, and probably in a smaller way, was that people who would buy normal locking knives were experimenting with Jack Wolf to see what a good slip joint really was. But now that he's done a locking knife, a locker that is being bought, as you say, faster than any other knife, but in the mainstream of locking knife market, what that's going to do, because that is a locking knife with a full traditional knife look, kind of aesthetic. I mean, that's what it is. So people are going to look at that and go, "That is beautiful."
What else is out there?
Yeah. What other GWKs are
fantastic,
there? It is clever.
And if you think of it, not only will it lead people down to the more basic knives that you or I get most of, but it's also going to lead them into custom knife makers. And custom knife makers, you have to remember, are little small businesses that can change at the drop of a hat. So getting more people in to view their customs, although they're dearer, but the people who are buying the Jack Wolfs are normally buying knives around that sort of 300, 400 price in their everyday life.
That's very true.
So hopefully the custom knife makers are going to get a boost off it as well. So it's a win-win all round. I mean,
a rising tide and all that. A rising tide. Okay. Yes, Jersey just saying that they rob you without a gun, them GEC. And it's funny, they don't even have to pull a gun.
I don't think GECs are expensive.
But I mean, well, yeah, but that's because you're now rich. He had 12,000 subs, and it's like, oh, GECs. Honestly, and I mean, I feel partially responsible. Shut up, dry your eyes. No, move on. Yes. And the trouble with some of the GECs, Jersey, is that they don't even need to pull the gun. They just say, "Give me your money."
The secondary market in America definitely is they will rob you with. I mean, they just come straight up and punch you in the face and then take everything you've got in your pocket because they're asking stupid prices. I have trouble selling a GEC for £30 or £40 less than what I paid for it over here. Yeah. There's been one on our what is it, the knife? Well, I can't think of it. UK knife
traders,
UK knife traders. Yeah. There's been one on there for 2 days now. A beautiful one with a cap lifter.
The 78, is it? The 80?
No. It's the teardrop shape.
Yeah.
And a lovely red bone on, like a reddy sort of bone
and it's
with a cap lifter.
With a cap lifter. Yeah.
Beautiful knife. It's been on there for 2 days. Nobody buying it.
I know.
And he's got it down lower. I think he's looking 150, which I think is a fair price for that knife. Can't sell it.
No.
In America, it'd been gone a minute after it was up.
Like that. That's true. That is very true. So, okie dokie, Jersey says that I have to tell him. I'll try, Jersey. I'll try. Don't you worry. And Bo's saying he'll buy a JWK when it costs as much as an Elementum. Oh, devoutly to be wished. Devoutly to be wished.
But, I mean, there's the thing down the line. Once he establishes himself, he might even end up doing a budget range.
Well, fingers crossed.
But is that budget range going to be a Jack Wolf? I don't think you can make a budget knife that stands out that much above other things.
Be nice to see what he could do with it, though.
Yeah. Do you know what I would love him to do? Is something like doing a bullnose.
Yeah.
Doing a pattern, a working pattern, and doing it in micarta, and doing that for a reasonable price. Bring that price down a wee bit for it.
Don't get me started.
$10.95 instead of S90V.
Because I'm already disappointed that there's another one dropping this month because the little bro fell through again.
Well, I think there's another one dropping. I just don't think it's a little bro.
Isn't he just doing the discount in July?
Oh, maybe he is. Yeah.
That was the thing. So honestly, can I take a quick poll? Do we think the little bro was cursed? I know Ben doesn't want to talk us to talk about that, but honestly, I think the little bro was slightly
it's such
cursed.
a lovely knife.
It is. It's a gorgeous knife.
Really, really nice knife.
It really is a lovely one. I mean, and it goes so nicely with the big bro too. It really is a lovely pairing, that too.
Although I wouldn't carry it because they're both clip points.
Yeah.
I would put it with something else that's not a clip. I would probably put it with a GEC, like an 86, and have the little bro as a user.
Yeah. Very nice.
Because I'm weird.
Yes. Love that one as well.
There's a point. Is there anybody out there, would you carry, when you're carrying two knives, do you make sure that they're both got different blade shapes on them? Or are you happy lifting two clip points or two spear points? I like to have two different blades. What do you, let me know in the comments what you would do. Do you have two different ones, or you're happy with whatever?
I'm more different sizes, I have to say.
Big and small.
Yeah. And that sort of brings us on almost to my particular poison, which is Swiss Army knives.
Do you want to show that first?
Yes,
I think that is an amazing knife.
I mean, this is actually a beautiful example of what we're talking about. Do you want to put it under the camo cam?
I will indeed.
Put it under the camo. We're going to camo cam. We're going to the knife cam, folks. Hold on. We're going to the knife cam. Here we go. Now, this is the Rough Rider Reserve Patriarch, and I have been sort of jonesing for this for a while.
So have I.
And it is. This again is a perfect example of what we're talking about, of what turns you off on a knife, but also, in contrast, what turns you on a knife. And the first thing it turns me on a knife is an unusual blade shape.
Yeah.
And I mean, that has it. It's just a fantastic.
It's a ram's foot with a belly.
Yeah. It really is.
It's not a huge belly, which makes it even nicer.
It's just really subtle.
I'm totally besotted with that. Since I had this in hand, I've tried to pry it out of him. I've tried to bribe him with knives. He just will not have it. Yeah. And rightly so, because it is a beautiful knife.
It's a keeper. It really is.
It is. And it's not heavy, but it's
substantial, isn't it?
Yeah, it's proper weight.
Yeah.
Proper weight behind the knife. It's got the sway back here, which is not too bad. I am not a great lover. Not a great lover of sway back, unless I'm going to do whittling.
Yeah.
Then it's it's perfect working with wood. Yeah. But this one I could get away with because it's so substantial. Look at that bulbous end on it. You can't beat a bulbous end on a knife.
Not going there,
no,
Stephen. Not going
on a knife.
there.
It is just stunning, and it's lovely. It comes down to a fairly thin, and it's that big a knife. You don't want a little wafer thin edge on it. This is a knife to get into wood, get into things that you want to put a bit of torque on.
Yeah.
And if you put little skinny edge on it, it'll take that knife away from you.
Yeah.
It'll become then just like a knife like every other.
Absolutely.
Generic.
Sort of light,
I just love that. I think they've got the size perfect.
Yeah. And I mean, I know that we'd asked Thrifty and some of the other guys about this, and they had sort of mentioned that they were kind of over the Rough Riders blue denim micarta, and I have to say,
no.
Well, I don't have any of the blue denim micarta in Rough Riders.
I don't have. I've got rid of all my ones that have
So having one is lovely,
and that's why I'll buy this. It's probably because it is in the blue. Because if it had been in that creamy coloured one I've got, like the Barlow, I probably wouldn't have bought it.
Because
I want difference. And
that's another thing. Difference, getting something a little bit different, is definitely worth doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's probably my. I know it's.
Listen to that. Just listen. That's a Rough Rider. That's the bit that kills it for me.
No.
That's what keeps it at the price that it's at for me. Is it's not. That is just beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful.
Does that ring dead?
It's a bit dull. I think that's a bit dull.
I think it's a good.
It's perfect snap, and it's a great walk and talk. Absolutely. Just that last wee one is just. It's not up to. But nothing's going to be
Philharmonic Orchestra standards.
For what you're paying for this knife, let's be honest. What about 60 quid?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing walk and
yeah.
talk. It's just cruel to say, oh, that one wee thing would put it off, because it's not, because I'm going to buy one. But it is, it's just, look at that shape of it even. You just want to take that out and work with it.
No, it's a
Beautiful
it's a
knife.
lovely. It is a lovely knife, and I am enjoying it. I have to say.
Sadly.
And it's
What was I doing there? Had I to do a segue?
Yes, we were
Yes.
segging.
Yes,
segging our
I wanted
way
to do a
into-
segue. Oh,
Let's get rid of that.
I wanted to do a segue on these knives because this is what Justin likes. And I know a lot of you out there love the Swiss Army knives. Well, Justin has a collection of the Alox ones that when I look at it, I get dreamy-eyed. I'm not a particular great lover. I do like Swiss Army knives. I've got a good collection now that's not going to grow anymore, but I've got a good collection now that covers. But this collection just makes me dream. I just want to have this in a box that I can open and look at every day. That's what it is. So I'm going to put as many as I can get on this table just to let you see that this hobby doesn't have to be expensive. You can pick up beautiful knives at reasonable prices and make a collection to make people sick.
Yeah,
really is.
And it's funny because I was watching. I think Thrifty started it when he got a new Explorer and then started and was doing did a review on a sack, and then Matt from Slip Joint Sawyer showed his entire collection, and the thing about it was it brought out the worst in me, and I think you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. You know our classic line. There's two classic lines, which is first of all, that's not a knife. And the other one is never go anywhere without a knife. Rule number 9. Okay, those are words that we live by. So I'm talking here. I'll have one in a sec.
No, you know.
Oh, thank you very much. Sorry, there's not enough for everybody in class. Okay. So anyway, when Thrifty and when Matt showed their collections online, my first response in a naturally male competitive way was, "That's not a collection." That's not a collection. That's a good start. And I even said this to Matt, and he had the good grace to take this very wisely and actually cry out for help. And it was when he cried out for help that actually I started to think, hang on a second, what Matt has is a collection. What I have is a problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my problem, all right? So
this is just one of them, let me add. He has lots of other problems.
Oh yeah, but I'm getting therapy for the other ones. So how do we want to do this? One at a time or a handful at a time?
I think for this show, maybe just stick to the
Alox?
The Alox, that line, that main line there.
Okay.
Because we can do the smaller ones on another video.
What we'll do?
Because I actually want to see them and get,
put them upside down like that, and then we'll go to camel cam, shall we, or the knife cam?
There you go. We're in.
Excellent. Okay.
We're in like
we're going to go to the knife cam, and then I'll talk you through these. Okay. So this is, except for this one, we'll take this one out of the way because it's a distraction.
Show it the way past.
Oh well. Okay. So this is my Alox collection. Okay. Now I am an absolute sucker for Alox, and if anybody collects Swiss Army knives, they know that there are many ways to get a fever for Swiss Army knives. I know of people who cannot walk past a Ranger. It's like they have to buy a Ranger every time they see one. And there's a guy, I think, on a multi-tool forum with about 72 Rangers, and they're all exactly the same knife, but he just can't walk past a Ranger and not buy it. So Alox, especially coloured Alox, is very similar to is very much something that does it for me. Okay, so this one is a special edition. It was this year's limited edition knife for the SAC Alox UK Club collectors, right. And this is a lumberjack. Okay, now the lumberjack is a gorgeous knife because it's a 2-layer knife, and it is
a lumberjack.
Yep, it's a lumberjack because it's got a saw in it.
No,
seriously.
Why didn't you tell me? Why have I not got one of them?
Put that under the cam.
Wow. So
this is a lumberjack, and it is an 84mm special edition in Alox, and it's, I mean, they're like unicorns. Although they're all over the place this year, they did a number of special runs for all the different clubs. and it's got 3 tools on it. It's got the cap lifter, it comes screwdriver, the combo tool as it would be on the compact.
Have you
Main
ever tried
blade.
to open a can with one of these?
Oh God, no.
I'm going to try that when we go down in there.
Yeah, we're trying to.
So another wee thing we can talk about. We're actually going to be doing outside video. We're going to have an outside broadcast.
Absolutely.
And we're going to, maybe this first time, cook a bit of food, have a cup of tea, and chat about a knife that was taken down there to use, and just...
We'll either stab each other, burn to death, or die of food poisoning. One of those things, or get eaten by wild animals. It's
and
all
cook
possible.
and go for the food poisoning.
But there you go. The 85mm.
I love the fact that that's lumberjack. What a great name
It's
for
a
it.
class.
A little cadet. That's what I thought it was, just a cadet.
Yeah. Well, the cadet's right beside it.
Yeah.
And the cadet, the variation.
Oh,
I know.
listen
It's
to that.
just awesome, isn't it?
and like, there's no rubbing. You don't get any rubbing. You don't get nothing.
Nothing. It's just
And,
perfect.
and this is
production.
what annoys me with slip joint makers. They can't get things to stop rubbing because it's a stockman or something.
Yeah.
These people have been doing it with 7 blades for years.
I know.
Why didn't they ring up and say, "Hey, how do you get them not to rub?" I mean,
Flip me, I can take a sack apart and put it back together again and not get rubbing.
it's crazy, isn't
I
it?
know, so it's exactly what Jersey was saying. There's no excuse for
No.
GEC to be either be rubbing or have braid
No,
work or
but
anything else.
there's an excuse. There's an excuse for every now and then one slips, because very few do slip through the net like that.
It's
Very
true. It
few.
is true.
So I'll back them up on a wee bit of that, only because I'm a GEC freak. And so's Pete. I mean, he's got one of the best collections I know,
I know.
of GEC knives.
I know.
He has got some great taste in GEC, and he bought a lot of them when the time was ripe for buying them, when they were at a really reasonable price when he bought half of his. So slap it into him for having to pay dear now.
It's very true. It's very true. Okay, so going back to the camera, and we will have a look.
I'm just opening these blades up for you to save a wee bit of time.
Okay, so what we've got is another 84mm. This is one of my favourite knives, is the Cadet.
Man. That colour is lovely, and I want both of them.
and the Cadet is just a lovely one, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Cadets now.
What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, no, what's that's not a cadet? Is that a solo?
That's a Bantam.
That's a bantam, right?
Take it out and compare
Yeah.
it, because the Bantam is probably one of my favourites as well. Actually, anything 84mm and
Oh, it's got writing on it.
I think it's just.
8,000. I don't know. Can't read that.
I think it was a special. There's another special.
It's probably in
edition.
English. I'm not great in English.
But that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And
It's
it's
such
something-
a light.
It's something to cut with and something to open your beer with. And the beauty about the Bantam, show the spine of it, because it's almost as thin as the Bayard.
Yeah. In fact, let's just see.
Yeah.
I think it's thinner, but let's just have a wee look.
Oh God, it is.
Yeah, it is.
I didn't think it was that thin, actually.
Do you
That's
know,
amazing.
when you consider what this costs and the cutting edge you're going to have in this, now, all right, it won't last, and that's not the thing, but that's some bargain.
Oh, absolutely.
It's just some bargain. There's the Cadet, which is just a wee 2-layer one, and you can see that is much bigger than the Bear. Oh, sorry, the Bear is much thinner than the 2-layer one. It's well under the scale.
Yeah.
But that's some going to get.
Oh, no.
You know, there's 4 tools there.
Yeah, exactly. And the beauty about the Alox, because they're not as bulky as the Celador ones, the plastic scaled ones. They'll slip into a wallet or a fifth pocket or whatever. You know, even if you're wearing a waistcoat, they'll slip into your pocket there. Absolute beautiful pocket droppers.
And the other thing they do lovely little. Now you can get leather slip, I suppose, but they do a lovely little plastic one in black with a red inline there. And it's a wee slip that just keeps, especially an Alox. I wouldn't do it with a Celador, but the Alox, it's really worth, you know.
Definitely.
You don't want that. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I mean, I think the Alox, when you go for the more expensive runs, you're not really buying them to use. You know, it's like that beautiful knife I've got. In another sense, you know, I'll cut a bit of paper with it or do something when I'm showing a demonstration. But I've already decided in my heart, I cannot hard use this. I don't want to put it through. I put it through cardboard a couple of times. It goes through just through water. It proved it to me. I don't need to prove it. I'm just not going. That's going to be my Oh, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to. That's going to be a safe queen.
Oh,
But it's a safe
you
queen.
said it wasn't going to
No,
be.
I know, but it's going to be a safe queen with benefits. It will come out and cut a bit of paper. It'll come out cut a bit of paper. It will excite you without taking you the whole way.
Oh, I see. So
see?
it's a bit of a tease.
That's exactly what it is, a tease.
There you go.
I
Absolutely.
know where I get the thoughts in my head. Is it normal?
Look. I have a sneaking suspicion you're off your meds again, but that's beside the point. No.
That wee bantam is lovely.
Yeah, and we've actually got Gadget Gus on, and and Gus. The funny thing, Gus is actually singing the Lumberjack song, and the funny thing about it was that the guy from Sack Alox Collectors, he packaged all these up after he'd ordered them and sent them out, and every single one of them came with a wee Easter egg that you had underneath the packing, which was a photograph of Michael Palin singing the Lumberjack song. It was absolutely brilliant, perfect. And I think somebody else was asking about the Walker. The Walker, I think, was exclusively the Celador one, and I'm not actually sure. The Walker, I'm actually sure that might be the 84mm version of the Camper, but I'll check it and see. You may well be right. And again, given my track record today, I may be wrong. So
no, I believe you. I'm going with you.
And there's Thrifty.
Oh!
So we've got Gadget Gus in. We've got Rhino 54 in.
Do you know who's missing? Old Scaredy Cat Sawyer.
Oh, he'll be here. He'll be here.
Yeah, do you know this is what worries me, right? Them two, they started this channel, they took the mickey out of me, and they haven't had another good one since.
Oh, I know.
And that's ridiculous. We could do that.
Every week,
I'll wait for it
religiously. I watch their show, waiting for the laughs.
We're going to be different.
Happens? Where are the laughs?
Yeah.
Where are the laughs?
We should do the laughs and let them do the thing. What do you think?
Well, what we should do is we should probably provide them with more material.
I couldn't do that without trying. I don't make many mistakes.
Yeah. Well, answers on
right.
postcards,
Thrifty
please.
and Sawyer, get some funnies up there. Watch more videos.
And slide text in as well.
Hello, Tony. How you doing?
Good to see you, Tony.
What's he saying now?
Thrifty.
Oh, he's just going through.
He's just going through the names and saying hello.
Yeah. If I'm ever on one of your lives and you ask me to say hello to everybody, you haven't a chance.
Oh, I know, because he doesn't watch the comments.
It takes me so long to type. It just would. I'd ruin the whole live.
Oh no.
I hate that. I can't concentrate on two things at once.
Actually, I've just discovered a new thing with StreamYard, guys, and I'm sure you guys are already all over it, but when you're doing StreamYard, you can actually add in everybody else's channel to the stream. So it doesn't just come through on RJ's, it will also come through on your own or whatever else. So if we've got a guest on, like if we have Thrifty on or RJ, they can stream on their own channel as well.
Yeah, I would never know.
Of course you wouldn't.
I have it up full screen, you see.
Yeah, of course.
So much better.
But it
I
means
have people that do that sort of thing.
It's double the audience.
It's what?
Never mind. I'll talk to him about marketing a little bit on.
And look, while we're on there, I'm just going to break in because I do want to make a big fuss of this. I really apologise if you were on the last live. I didn't put it up. I'm sorry, it just wasn't good enough for the knife. And that's sad to say, it wasn't good enough for the knife. But it wasn't. I was having a bad couple of weeks mentally in my own head. It's not Father's Day is not that time of the year that I love, and I'm not going into it. I'm sure you all know why. And I just had a bit of a meltdown. I couldn't think. I couldn't do it. And I was on the verge of a panic attack, so I buggered off before I took my clothes off and screamed around the house. Yeah, not a pretty sight.
And I wasn't. So I wasn't prepared mentally for that either.
I do apologise. A lot of you boys were in, and I was having a meltdown very quietly in the corner. So that's why it was taken down, not because of anything that anybody said. I was trying to show off a new knife that was worth an awful lot of money, and that was not what I wanted to put across.
Yeah.
So that's why. Bye. That's gone.
No, okay. And we are moving swiftly on.
Swiftly on.
Can I ask you to pull two knives out?
Yes.
Just to show again, it showcases another particular.
The other thing is, you see these smaller ones here. Are these a yearly thing? They come out every year with a what do you call that? The cadet.
Yes, the cadet.
They do a cadet every year.
They used to. They don't do it anymore. They stopped doing the cadet.
Oh, that's a
They
shame.
stopped. The last year was actually the year I started collecting them. Ironically, so the
Uh-huh.
blue ones there that you can see, the top and
Yes.
bottom,
Oh.
these two here.
All right.
So that's the Pioneer, and then if you flip
Oh, I
it over
noticed.
to-
Yeah, that's
you flip-
Pioneer, and then it changes up.
Yeah.
That's Pioneer X now.
That's right. That's exactly so. So the last year that they did the Pioneer and the Cadet was 2020, and that was the year I started collecting. So that's
Right.
why I wanted that limited edition. So that's what happened. But then they switched over to the Pioneer X. Now, normally I would object to that, but the Pioneer X is such a class knife.
It's a
Anyway,
pair of scissors which you really like.
I love the scissors. I just love. having a
I'll
pair of
have to
scissors.
say, because of the difference in the price of one of these, I would prefer the Pioneer myself.
Yeah, just normally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, at that, what I'm going to pay that price, because they are a bit more expensive
They
than
are.
they. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would pay them extra money for that. I think.
Yeah.
If I was going to be the collector,
And
nothing wrong with
it's,
this.
it's just the Pioneer is brilliant, but that's the one I wanted to bring out.
Right, this one here.
Just not the blue one, the green one.
All right.
Just as a wee, because the green one pairs
Oh.
perfectly.
You know, battery
Don't
low.
worry about that.
Right.
But we'll hopefully get out. But if we pair it with,
Oh, isn't that just gorgeous?
and look at that. Now isn't that a perfect pairing? And both of them are in green, in olive green, and it doesn't
That's
come up
beautiful.
the best. Isn't that fantastic?
That's why you should be doing Instagram and putting pictures up. But you should. I mean, I tell them all the time to get Instagram and just put pictures up. You don't even have to add any words. Just put the two. Just take a picture, put it up.
And away you go.
That's
Yeah.
it. You don't have to add anything. But it lets people see this beautiful hidden side of how
It
many
is.
people get to look at this that often?
Very few.
Very few. And I
Except
just
the
love it.
people that come
Get
through
them,
my,
have them.
come through my front door, and then I march them upstairs at knife point, and
Come see my knives.
come see my knives. It's not a euphemism.
Oh, here.
And
That's up this end of it.
that's the way it works. But actually, it's funny you say that, Stephen, because it's in August the multi-tool org are doing a 30-day challenge, and it's carrying Alex, a different Alex every day. Well, not a different Alex, but you have to carry and photograph an Alex
That's
every day. And I'll be doing it with this one.
Oh, how lovely.
So that'll be special.
But I mean, I really do think you should slowly pick pictures up on Instagram. Don't have to say a thing or reply to anything. You just put it up there.
And I occasionally I do, and I'll
Ah.
probably do it over
I think so.
over the choice of this, because the Alox are lovely, and I'm really happy with my Alox collection now. So
So you
it's-
should be. I mean, I'm not jealous, but I'm really glad you have it because I get to see it. It's just, I mean, funnily enough, even an orange Alex, which an orange, I just don't like orange
Yeah.
knives. The orange Alex looks okay.
Yeah,
I think
love
because it has
one.
that metallic look about it, and
Yeah.
it's not just a, you know,
The flat orange.
run away from the animals. It's,
It's called Tiger Orange, that
Yeah.
one, and that's
It's
the
nice.
special edition for 21.
that has grown on me something rotten.
The-
I just got to get
the
this up.
acid green.
Look at their colour. And
Oh.
look, he's even got the lovely bead on the end of it.
Switching to.
Oh,
Yes,
look
there
at
you go.
that. And I love this little Spyderco bead that he's got on it. It's just beautiful. And this is the Pioneer X because it has the scissors in it. And I mean, they're good size scissors. These are not just little small.
Yeah.
It's that end, isn't it? No. Yes. No. I haven't got my right glasses on. Help here.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you were right. Actually.
Was I?
It's just
I
a
just
nail
didn't
nick
get
on
it,
these
yeah.
can be.
I mean, that is a lovely set of scissors, isn't it? It really is. And they just work. I mean, again, one of those things, they're doing so many of them. And how many times have you picked a pair of scissors up, even no matter what age the knife is, they still work?
I know, absolutely.
I mean, that's crazy. That's, I mean, we talk about all our custom knives and our GECs and our case. These boys have been doing this for so long at such a high level.
Yeah.
Look how many other companies have tried to build these and not succeeded.
Think about that one I got the other week, the Vulpes, and it was
Yeah.
it was a cracking wee knife, but the scissors just didn't cut it.
No.
If you'll excuse the pun.
I mean, I have a German made one, that black one, the German made,
Yeah.
which is really, really good, but it's just not as good.
Yeah.
And you can tell it as you lift it, sort of. Oh no, it's not. But it was good, excellent knife, nothing wrong with it. But I mean, they've been doing this for so many years, and their attention to detail and their fit and finish. But they've only got the same CAD as everybody else that cuts things out
Yeah.
and puts holes in the same as every other CAD machine. Why can we not get our in the slip joint world? Why can we not get our screws in straight, or it's crazy. The knife doesn't fit right.
It seems crazy that there's little or no excuse.
The back of their knives is the same in every knife. There's just repetitive because it's so well engineered. Maybe this is something I don't know. Maybe the CADs they're using are way advanced. I can't see it, but I mean, some of the CADs out there, those people are making designs are amazing. But do they just lapse at putting the tolerance in?
Maybe it's down to quality control.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that. This little knife at the price that you pay for these is just so expertly finished. The shields, do you ever see a bad shield? No. Bloody hell, every shield we got, no.
I know, but I suppose Victorinox's strength is that they work on what they know, and they don't work with exotic material. I'm making excuses for quality now. Why am I doing that?
No,
that's just insane.
I mean, again, Rough Riders fit and finish is way above its price range.
Yeah. True.
But yet the ones at the highest price range nearly are the ones that have the most problems with fit and finish. Haften, they don't haft the knives properly, so the springs will not be level. Whatever. It's just really crazy. I have to say.
I think it kind of comes back to what you were saying earlier on. Maybe it's that maybe we're more discerning, or we're more demanding of knives that we're paying more for.
There's no doubt we are. We're collectors. I mean, and we're always going to be fussy buggers. I mean,
oh yes, there's no doubt about that.
Here's one of the funniest. I remember being away with the church once. We went down to Newcastle for the weekend, and we were sitting having a chat, and we went into this cafe, and there must have been about 30 of us down, and we all come marched into the cafe, and we're walking around, and one of the waitresses said, "Oh well, there's the tips going. It's the church boys in." And I just thought, that's what we're like nowadays. It's just you jump to this opinion. You got to.
It's very true.
It was funny.
It's very true. Let's go to the comments and have a wee look. Dawn, is that yellow or gold? I have both, to be honest.
I'll show the gold.
The gold. Oh, that's the grey one. The gold one is the 2019
here
Cadet.
It is, yeah.
And it is
completely different. There you go.
It goes, and it's up against the. I can't even remember what it's an acid green or something. I can't remember what this year's color is actually called. But it is a sunset yellow.
It's a real put your eye out color.
It is.
And at first it was nearly too much, but now I've actually grown to like it.
Yeah. And here's the thing: the Cadet in Champagne, it's called, for the 2019 Cadet. That's the latest one. That's the last one I got, and.
Where is it?
That's the one you have in your hand.
Oh, that's Champagne.
Yeah, that's Champagne. It's called Champagne. Now that was the last one I got, and the reason I'll tell you why I got, because I had the 2020, which was the last Cadet, and I love Cadets, and then I managed to get hold of the 2018 of Congi, which is the berry red one, and they're rare. They're hard to get, the berry reds, and that's a 2018. But of course, from a collector's perspective, you have 2018 and you have 2020. So what do we have?
Well, I'm looking for 2013 just to really muck you up. And if I find one, I'm buying it, because you'll have to fill the gaps.
And that's exactly what I mean. It's a gap. It's a gap. It's a gap. And I mean, it had to be filled. So I didn't even like the champagne colour. Didn't like the champagne colour, because when I got the 2020, you could have got the 2019 at the same time. And it's... But I just didn't bother, because I didn't particularly
You'll learn now.
Well, no, it wouldn't happen again, that's for sure. So I had to get it. And actually, the irony is that I really like it, and especially in amongst the collection,
it's very rich.
It strips really nicely. And this is what I would say about my Alex collection. I've got lots of red and blue. I would love some more of the bright colours.
You will get them,
and I will get them over time, but it would be fantastic.
Because I think you love it so much. If it's in your head, you're going to get it, and it's like it's all. Once you get that thing in your head that you want, it invariably ends up turning up just when you have the right amount of money to go and get them.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
Fussy bookers.
Yes, I think Pepper Dingo, you get the prize for the subtitle of the night, definitely. And there's a wee side conversation going on. Thank you, Jersey. Yes, I love them too.
Well, Jersey used to collect as well. I remember years ago he had a collection of these ones here. He goes back, he has a collection. You should ask him why the collection he has. and add it to yours.
What did I say about a problem?
You'll get plenty of money for him. He's loaded. Just hit him over the top.
Yeah. And Slide Tech,
There's a knife Raven, and that's lovely to
absolutely,
see.
he's been in since the beginning. And so there's Tony saying, I agree 100%. I disagree with Stephen. Orange knives are definitely the way to go. I would love to have more orange knives in my collection.
Orange knives are faster, did he say?
Yeah, orange knives are faster. It's a scientific fact.
Yeah, it's the difference between a solid poo and a runny poo.
Oh, Jesus. He had to go there.
Well,
moving on very, very swiftly. And there's a good point. Again, Byron, the voice of wisdom. Too many people assume quality means expensive and premium, where it really means consistency and repeatability. And that's exactly right. And that's where Victorinox have it done. And speaking of the devil himself, there he is. It's Mr. Sawyer.
Yeah.
Matthew, remember when I said to you that it's a good start? I'm not sure if you saw this song. We're going to go one last time, just because I know you're only just in. We're going to go one last time to my Alox collection, so just to say goodbye to it. And
beautiful
bye.
Collection. Beautiful collection.
Bye.
How lovely is that?
It is a lovely collection. Just to warn you, Matt, that you keep on going down that rabbit hole, and it becomes problematic. Is all I'm saying. Okay.
And let's be honest, he's got lots more of these. Not the Alox, but he's got such a huge collection. And the nice part of your collection is the ones you've made yourself. And maybe next time, if you brought a couple of them, I would love to see them. Keep it the next week. Yeah, keep it the next week and bring some of your and we'll do that.
Yeah,
I would like in the comments, of course, let us know of that. Would you like to see some of the ones that Justin has done himself and made himself? Because honestly, you're in for a treat. They're absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And it is funny because I haven't made any in more than a year now, and it's because our good friend Dan got to a point where there's no point in me making knives anymore, because he makes knives so much better a job of it, and the prices that he charges are so much better.
His prices are just unbeatable.
So I mean, I'd go to Dan every time now, I must admit.
Yeah.
Apart from anything else, he laughs at my peening, so he does. I sent him over one that I'd repaired, and he took the scales off and and actually made a video of him pointing at the painting that I'd done, and said, "What the hell's that?" I mean, he's merciless.
He's naturally talented at the Victorinox. He really has just a gift at being so quick to pick things up and learn the different things.
He really is. And I mean, what he can't do with a Swiss Army knife, it's not worth.
He's good with his hands, full stop, really.
Yeah.
And you would know that.
Of course I would, but we won't talk about intimate matters. Thank you very much. Moving on. Okay, so yes, there's the final look-see, and we'll move back. Yes, Tony, the Thunder Grey is in there too. That was last year's. I find it really boring colour, I have to admit. I like the bright colours.
But I suppose, a little bit of everything.
Yes, Tony, I am on Insta, but I only post every now and again. Because of my work with the CIA, I like to keep a low digital profile. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all
he's a doorstop in the inspector's office.
Oh dear me. Anyway, so we are now at 1 hour and 50 minutes, so we are gone well over our time. So folks, thank you very, very much for joining us again.
Really just lovely to see people talking, and I just love it.
Absolutely.
And I hope you like this, we venture into this. And next week we'll do the other part of it, which is the ones that I like that he's made himself, and just gives you, because he's made a couple for me, and I'll show them, because they're my favourite in my whole collection of sack knives. It's not that I don't like sack knives. I've got enough now that I'm satisfied. I've got a collection.
That's the thing. And I think it's... I honestly, I don't want to buy any more sacks. I really don't want to buy any more. But sometimes I can't help myself. But it is more of a sort of a problem than it is a need. And I would much, and I have to admit, that's why I really enjoyed getting into the other knives, because as many sacks as I have, and that's only half of my collection, or about a third of my collection actually. So I've got almost as many now traditional slip joints as I have sacks.
That's nice.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
It really is just brilliant. Just
It
as
is.
opening up a different aspect to it. So you start, you have, each of us have our own particular starting
Here's
point.
a question: when we have collections, are we doing the collections for our video channel and our audience, or is it just because you like looking at them yourself?
That's a good question.
Is it to show off, or is it just because you like having the look at them? That's a really good. I even find that hard to. That's why I need to think before I ask questions.
Yeah.
Because now I'm starting to struggle myself. What do I do?
Well, I mean, for me, it's always been about looking at it myself, because nobody else wants to look at
Yeah.
them in my family. Anyway.
Yeah, mine's the same.
And they laugh at me.
Yeah.
However, have really enjoyed sharing this with the guys.
I've enjoyed
You
seeing
get a big
it.
buzz
Yeah.
out of it, fellas. So
Yeah, I've really enjoyed
Yeah.
seeing it because it is something different again that we don't get in-depth look at collections of sacks very often. Now I know there's channels that do that, but they're not typically the sort of channels I follow because I've sort of come to the end of my wee road with a sack. Now I will buy the odd one like I've seen tonight here. That what do you call it?
lumberjack.
The lumberjack. That has taken me to the fair. I love that. I want that knife.
It is a class one. It is a
I
class
definitely want that in my collection. So there you go. Look, once Justin said, thank you so much. You're a joy. You come on every week and you listen to our piffle
one.
leather, and we really appreciate you coming. And we enjoy the fact that you're talking amongst yourselves. And hopefully, I'll see you next week at 7:30. And we were on time this week, Thrifty and
Matt.
yeah,
Matt,
what's it called? Yeah, Matt. Yeah.
He doesn't see you for 1 week, Matt, and he forgets you.
Yeah, he was on Sunday just behind the scenes.
Oh, was he?
He was
working
working,
the
yeah,
chair?
he was working.
Yes, that's right.
But he was on. We were talking
What are you
before it
doing
started.
working on Sunday, Matt? For crying out loud.
How do you think he's got Rolls Royce, Porsche, everything in that 5-car garage he's got? For goodness sake, the man has to work every day, every minute.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us again. We'll be back hopefully next week. God knows when, and God knows what we'll be talking about, but hopefully.
The other thing now, maybe in about 2 weeks' time, we're going to try and get down and do a video
Outdoors,
around the campfire. We're going to take. I'll tell you what I'm going to take down with me because I've not used it hard. I'm going to take that with me and do all my camp tasks
That's your
with the
lawman?
American lawman.
Oh,
So I'm
excellent.
going to split my twigs, that sort of. Take the bark off trees and just see what I can put this through, and I'm going to baton with it.
I'm going to bring me Twisted Gambler.
Fantastic. There we go. That's the two we'll be taking, and this will do food prep, everything, or both our knives. We'll do a wee bit of everything. It's just going to be a wee simple meal. I was noodles and a bit of chicken thrown in.
And
Something simple.
hopefully the Rosers won't catch us down in the woods. I mean, that's always a
If you go
possibility.
down to the woods today, be sure of a big surprise.
And on that note, we will end.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye now.